Hey there. Just wanted to go over really quickly this chart of the revolutions of 1848. As you guys know, remember this first column is it says issues in the nation. So that's really more of like what's going to cause this revolution. The middle column here is what happens during that revolution. And the last is whether or not it was successful. So you were using your textbook, which was linked here, or a different typed page that had textbook information in it, depending on which assignment you received. So here's some issues that are going on in France. There's all kinds of these economic problems from the Congress of Vienna. People don't get guaranteed voting rights, which is that universal male suffrage. And Louis Philippe, that is who the king is at the time, he doesn't really make these government changes to really get to these liberal movements. Remember, this is liberalism, is about liberty, about independence. And he was somebody who was following more of a conservative or monarchist position. So he's not making those changes. So what happens is Louis Philippe, his government is overthrown, and a group of moderate radical Republicans set up a temporary government that instituted universal male suffrage. They also provided these national workshops or like public works for jobs for the unemployed, but the unemployed were paid by the government. So was this revolution a success? So there is going to be this working class revolt that stopped. A new constitution sets up a second republic, which has a single legislator, so like a single government branch that is elected by universal male suffrage and a president. The only thing that's not good about this is like the national workshops and other safety nets kind of disappear because the government is still really broke. All right, going on to the German states. So the German Confederation, prior to this, was just filled with all these different groups of people. So we have Austria, we have Prussia, among all these different people who are living in the German Confederation who want to have more of a say in what's going on. So they want to have a new constitution and things like that. So the people set this thing called the Frankfurt Assembly up, which is an all-German parliament. Because remember, Austria was put in charge of the German Confederation during the Congress of Vienna. So it's really about trying to make like a German Germany, not an Austrian Germany. And they want to have that universal male suffrage. So what happens is Germany does not unite. The Frankfurt Assembly is disbanded. There's no constitution, and German unification is not achieved. Austria has kind of similar issues. So Austria is considered to be a multinational state. So before the revolution, there's all these different groups of peoples who are all living inside of Austria that don't get along. Different, places that have their own countries now. So think of it that way. Like the Czechs, the Germans, the Hungarians, Slovaks, Romanians, etc., etc. And what happens is they're pretty disgusted with the way the Habsburgs or the Austrians are ruling this area. So there's going to be all these demonstrations during the revolution. Metternich is going to get thrown out, and they're going to be demanding new constitution, a liberal constitution, suffrage, all the things that everybody else is asking for. What happens is eventually the government's going to give Hungary their own legislature, so their own parliament, their own little branch of government, and it's going to be centered in Budapest. So there's going to be like a center of government in Vienna, and then a second one in Budapest, and then one ruler. But what happens is all these other groups of people are like, well, we want our own government too. And what ends up happening is the Austrian military goes and like crushes the Czechs and the people in Prague, and all over the countryside, and the revolution is not successful. All right, in Italy, the Congress of Vienna had set up these 9 Italian states, and Austria had control in northern Italy. Remember, Italy is not united. So revolution is going to break out because these people who are living in northern Italy don't see themselves as being Austrian, and they want to be separate from them. So they want liberal constitutions. They want a unified Italy. And at the end of all this, they're not unified. And the Austrians just reestablish control over this region. So that's what happens in the chart.